everyone, it's Ann Shumba with Vista Sotheby's. I am taking you out of the bubble. We're going to be talking to Alissa Hussey of Alissa Hussey Productions, an event planning and production firm. We're on location at Casa De Perrin in Brentwood, a beautiful tabletop studio for rentals, home parties, weddings, beautiful corporate events, you name it, they've got it all. I'm so excited. We're going to be showing you some ways to decorate around the holidays. So I am here to talk to Alissa Hussey. Hi, Alissa.
How are you?
It's so good to see you.
So good to see you too.
We've known each other for a number of years, and she's very hard to pin down because she's very busy planning events.
Yes.
You operate a full-service event planning and production firm.
That's right, yes.
You've worked with major celebrities, sports and entertainment people,
Yes.
as well as major corporate events.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your business and what an event producer does.
Yeah. So we're similar. Everybody's probably heard the term planner before, right? You've heard of that. So the production company kind of just takes it a step further, and we basically are your one-stop shop. So everything we do is in-house. So anything from florals to drapery, lighting, music, entertainment, all of that would be sourced through us. And we kind of just handle everything for you and take over the reins. Yeah.
Wow.
So hire us. And
I can't afford that. So tell us, you've been really busy this year. What have been some of the things that you've been doing this year?
Yeah, so we do a lot of weddings, of course. That's a lot of our business. But we also do social parties. We do smaller events from baby showers to birthday parties. And then a lot of the times during holidays, we do corporate events. So anything from Halloween parties to Christmas parties, that New Year's party, we kind of do all of that too.
And Alissa has been so kind and has put together this backdrop for us. Isn't it beautiful?
I mean, it's the holidays. We've got to get in the spirit a little.
I know.
We don't really get the seasons here in LA, so it's kind of brought it to LA.
So let me ask you a question. So prior to starting your own business, you worked for David Tatura. Am I saying that correct?
Tatura?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I cannot pronounce it. And you worked doing some very elaborate events. How did that business shape you?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a big learning experience for me. Probably after that experience, I will say I can do almost anything because it really puts you to the test. Just the time frames we had to deal with were really crazy, turning around events in 1 week's time, dealing with really challenging clients, and also just producing events that were above and beyond with a tiny, tiny budget. So, I mean, I've learned so much from it. It was a really great experience to have.
And you work not only here in Los Angeles, but you work everywhere across the United States as well as internationally. So you're available to people anywhere.
Yeah, and I think too, a lot of clients are looking for destination events nowadays too. They don't want it to just be in the town that they're from. They want it to be from the place that they travel to or that they love going. So we will go anywhere that people want us to.
And I didn't even think about that because actually the last two real estate agents I work with, one got married in Mexico and one got married in Portland, not in Portland, but at a winery outside of Portland. So it does seem to be the trend right now.
Right, it definitely is.
So let me ask you a couple questions because I think everybody is always curious, you know, when you work in this kind of business, obviously you have to be extremely detailed. Real estate is, as we were discussing, your mom's in real estate.
Yes.
Hi, Barbara. And you know, we have to have so many checklists. When you are doing these major, very elaborate events, how do you keep track of all of this?
How do we keep it all together?
Yes.
Yes. So we are similar to you guys. We do lots of checklists as well. We put together a very extensive production schedule. Anything that's design based, we put together a design deck for it, soup to nuts, from place settings to what the linen colors are or what glassware you're having. Everything is in like one sort of Bible, we kind of consider it. And then we have checklists and lists for what each team member is handling or what they're doing and at what times they're doing it. So that's really the only way that we can stay on track and keep things on time.
Well, I thought it was really interesting when we were just sidebarring before we got on this video, you were talking about even down to the knife with the cake.
Yes. Yeah. I
The
mean,
timing.
Anything, people always think, you know, it was such a great event, but I don't think they really understand how it got to that point. And a lot of it is because we handle all those tiny things that most people don't even think of. Like, when is the cake knife set out? Make sure it's there before the couple gets over there to cut the cake. So, yeah.
And that's so true, because even in real estate, when we're selling a home, we were talking about that as well. It could be down to putting fresh flowers on the table or out watering the lawn before the photo shoot. And I have raked leaves actually and picked things up off the grass, so it looks perfect.
Wow. Well, and just think too, a lot of times we have to turn off the sprinklers before we even start setting up, and it has to be turned off 3 days in advance. So yeah, it's
I didn't know
crazy.
that.
Yeah, because you have to make sure the grass is completely dry before you start doing any flooring or tenting on the grass.
I had no idea. That's pretty interesting. I had no clue.
I know.
You've dealt with some very high profile people, businesses. What would be one of the craziest things, and I don't want to mean crazy, I just mean, has there been like one challenge, either somebody's asked you for something that was really challenging to find or something like that?
I mean, I feel like each event has its own challenge, and every time it's different, which is crazy. You would think by this point we've mastered everything or we've come across everything, but each client is unique. Each client is different, so the experience that everybody has is different as well. So I don't know if there's anything specific. I mean, I've definitely had like people ask me to stop paparazzi helicopters from flying around before in the middle of an event, and I was like, I'm not really sure how I'm supposed to do that, but let me see if I can make some calls. So I've definitely had that. I've had all the crazy things like you could think of, like zoo animals and things like that happen.
Wow.
So and a lot of that, what happens is it's less difficult to get these items. It's more the logistics behind it. And like, for instance, if I've had to get an elephant for something, you know, you have to get permitting and you have to get approval for all of that. So those are some of the kind of crazier things that we deal with. To us, we're not really surprised by anything.
And it's funny you just said that about logistics, because that was my business before I was in real estate. And a lot of times when somebody receives something, they don't realize how difficult it is to transport something, because I was the one that you'd be calling behind the scenes to get it there, and we're getting trucks and moving things, and it's not as easy as it looks.
Yeah, and again, for us, the goal is that the client doesn't really know anything that's happened. Yeah, it shows up, it's there when it's supposed to.
Well, you do a wonderful job at it. So with weddings, because obviously there's a lot of people watching, we're going into the winter months, some people are doing winter weddings and things like that. Is there any tips for brides of things that they should have on hand?
On the day of the wedding?
Yeah, like it's for somebody who might not be able to afford somebody to handle their wedding. Is there any like small things that they could have on hand that they might not even think about?
Right. Well, I think the first and most important thing, especially if I always say have a planner, regardless of who it is, regardless of whether you can afford somebody full planning or partial planning or day of, have somebody there on the day of. You need those extra pair of hands. If for whatever reason you can't, you need to assign one of your bridesmaids and make sure, like give them a list and make sure they do all those things. And then for brides, I often tell them, bring a change of shoes, bring a jacket with you. And they're like, oh, I'm fine, it's warm, I don't need it. Or I wear heels all day. And then they always end up needing it later on. So always have like a little to-go bag for yourself with the essentials that you could use.
That's a great tip. And I think a lot of people think that what I liked about what you just said, and I think that this goes along with anything, is that some people think that they have to be able to afford the whole thing. And I think that there's a lot of people that don't realize that they can just hire somebody for segments of it or task out a certain element of the wedding. So what would be some of the smaller areas that somebody would hire you for?
Design. Like a lot of times clients have done planning, they've planned other parties, they've done their wedding, they've done other events. So a lot of times clients will hire us just to do design. That helps with your fee. You're saving some there because you guys are taking care of other vendors. But if you really don't know the concept building and how to come up with a concept and design it, that's what we can be there for.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that. So I hope somebody got a good tip out of that you can hire somebody just for the design aspect of it. I think that's great.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you'd like to share with us that we might not know?
Well, I think a lot of people think that probably I'm just every other planner in LA because there's a lot of us.
There is.
But the benefit for having me is that I've worked in pretty much every avenue of the industry. I do floral design myself. That's how I got started in the business. I've worked in catering. I've worked as a server.
So you've really done every aspect of it.
Yes, I've done venue sales. I've done event management.
Okay.
So I really have kind of run the gamut in the industry, and I feel like I kind of know every little avenue that there is. So
well, and I think what's unique about that is you've really worked in those areas. So as somebody who is doing the planning and coordination, you can actually speak to that particular position because you've done it.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too, what vendors like as well, is I know what the vendor has gone through. So I also want to make sure I understand what they need to help make the job successful and what everyone else on the team needs to just make the event great. So
that's so great. Yeah. Well, one of the main reasons why we're here is to talk about the holidays. And
here, people gotta get it together.
We're so excited because not only did Alissa knock it out of the park, she went above and beyond to show all of you an absolutely beautiful holiday table to inspire you all at home and to give you some ideas on how you could decorate at home. So I would love to take you over to the table and have you show everybody what you did.
Great, I'm excited. Let's take a look. So what we've done today is gone ahead and do a low table runner with green garland. I didn't want anything too tall because I felt like that would be in people's viewpoints. We really wanted it to be conversational so you could talk across each other. This is probably most likely your family dinner party or friends coming over. So you want to be able to converse with the people across from you.
Absolutely.
And we've added some candlelight, taper candles, votive candles, just to kind of bring some soft light to it as well. I've really kind of done some wood grain textures.
I like
We've
that.
done some greenery. I've also added this beautiful gold antler to kind of bring that to the tabletop as well. And then I always think it's really nice to give your guests something that they can take home. So we've gone ahead and had a calligrapher provide an ornament that can be hung on a tree, and we've written each guest's name on it.
That's so nice. That's a great takeaway.
Yeah, it's always nice to have something they can take home with them.
I think what I'm loving on this table, and everybody that knows me knows I'm absolutely obsessed with doing dinner parties. I love dishes. I love decorating a table. I'm loving this silverware. So why did you choose that?
Well, this silverware actually has a little bit of a green texture to it.
It's like that malachite.
Yeah, so I wanted to bring in, again, that green color, and it has that gold color that we love as well. And then our flatware, our china, it has a beautiful red classic print on it
really
as well.
Pretty.
And as I was saying, the red napkins come in place as well.
Can we show everybody, just because they're not going to be able to see the bottom dish too? Look at how pretty this dish is.
It's
so pretty.
Everything is just gorgeous. And a lot of times what I like to do is layer pieces. So we've done a wood charger plate, and then we've done 2 additional plates on top of that. Especially most of the time at holidays, you're probably doing platters on the table, a family style dinner.
So it's a little harder.
And this makes it easier though for guests to have their plates there. They don't have to move, and the platters can go in between the place settings.
Love that. And what I love about the greens that you picked is this is something that somebody could easily do at home. They could pick it up at a nursery or a flower shop. You've got, it looks like you've got the greens. What were these berries again? You told me.
Pepperberries.
Pepperberries.
Yeah, those are pretty much all over Southern California.
I love them.
And then we also have some holly in there as well. And I'll tell you my little cheat for the day.
Please.
I bought the garland from a wholesaler, but a lot of times Trader Joe's or those kinds of stores have them. And then I just added greens into it. I tucked in the berries. I tucked in some extra ferns for more texture.
Oh, I love that.
So there's a lot that you can do. Just get your base going. Buy that from somewhere, because it may seem overwhelming to people, but it's really not. I have my little cheats here and there.
Well, that's a good tip. Just buy garland at a nursery or a wholesaler, and then she just layered it. So this is something all of you could do at home. I love that, with your own china and whatever your color scheme is.
Exactly. And we have a little fun thing in the front here, because underneath our garland, again, it's about layering. So we did some red linens, and then we did a paper craft runner that goes along the front, and it drops down into the front for a nice, beautiful entry piece.
I would love to carry this all the way back to my house. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure, because I know how hard you work throughout the year, and for you to take time, and she did this in such a short period of time. I want everybody to know that, because she's truly, truly phenomenal. And for all of you watching, we hope that we've inspired you during the holiday season and given you some ideas and tips to decorate your home. And we wish you all a happy holiday. Thank you.